Hyperlinks are a really neat function that Keynote has that can be used in a multitude of ways. I can see hyperlinks being used in build your own adventure stories. They can be used absolutely during presentations, and they're even great to have our smaller friends prototyping apps because you can link an object in Keynote to a different location on another slide, essentially having the shape act as a button. You can even link the shape to an external website, which is pretty neat. So in order to begin, one thing that I have to note is that in the attendee deck that is in the Google Drive, your text, excuse me, and your shapes are grouped. What I mean by that is that the pink square and the text on top of it has been grouped together. And what I did not realize was that if a shape is grouped with text, you cannot hyperlink that shape. So this is good practice for us to ungroup shapes. On slide 9, tap on the pink shape and you'll see the format button come up. You see cut, copy, paste, delete, ungroup, comment, and animate. So we want to ungroup our pink square from our black text. Once we ungroup the text from the shape, when we tap on the pink square, you'll see the functions come up one more time. And this time you see the option to create a link. So cut, copy, paste, delete, add to shapes, comment, and link. Our instructions for the pink shape are to make this a hyperlink to the hyperlink title slide, which is slide 8. If we tap on link, you'll see that we have multiple options. Starting at the top, we can link the shape to a slide, a web page, or even an email address. For our purposes, we will link this pink square to a slide, and we can choose to link that to a slide number. We can link that to the next slide, previous slide, first slide, last slide viewed, or even an exit slideshow. Our instructions say to link the pink square to slide 8, the hyperlink title slide. And most people choose to link this shape using the previous slide option. I actually prefer to link slides by their slide numbers, just in case I start to move things around. So for us, I will choose link to slide and I will select slide 8. Now that the pink square is hyperlinked to a slide, you'll see that there is a blue circle in the bottom right of the pink square with a white arrow in it, and that indicates that you've created a hyperlink. On the right side of this slide, it says make this orange square a hyperlink to the next slide. So again, if your shapes are grouped, you will not see the link option when you tap on it. So you need to ungroup these shapes and tap on only the orange square. So here we will select link. Our instructions are to link this orange square to the next slide, which would be slide 10. So again, I prefer to link by actual slide numbers, just in case I move things around. Okay, so that looks pretty good. We'll move on to slide 10. Now on slide 10, our instructions are to again link the pink square back to slide 8. So I will link the pink square to slide by number, slide 8. And now make the green square a hyperlink to the next slide. So I will tap on the green square, and clearly I've already ungrouped all of these for myself. Link. And the next slide would be slide 11. So I'll select slide 11 from my counter. I see both of the blue circles with the white arrows in the bottom right corners of my shape, so I know that my hyperlinks are there. Slide 11 says to make the orange square a hyperlink to the previous slide. So the previous slide would be slide 10. So I will link this shape to slide 10. And now it says for the blue square to make this a hyperlink to apple.com. So I will add a link here. And at the top where it says link to, I'll change it from slide to web page. And it just so happens that apple.com is the stock web address that is in the space to type. And I'll just re-enter that, and you could link this to any web page. You could link it to WebMD, you could link it to Khan Academy, you could link it to any URL that you have. And so now I see the blue circles with the white arrows in the bottom right corner of both of my shapes, and so I know that they are hyperlinked. Just to double check, which is always a good idea, I'll go back to slide 8 and I'm going to press play in the top right. That will take me into presentation mode of my Keynote slide deck. So then all of the functions, all of the hyperlinks will be fully functional, and I can just double check that I've done this correctly. So I'm going to press play. I am tapping on the screen to advance to the next slide, and I want to make sure that when I tap on the pink square, it takes me back to the hyperlink title slide. And that works. Now, to advance any Keynote presentation to the next slide, all I have to do is tap anywhere on my screen. So here I go back to the slide we were just on, and I want to make sure that when I tap on the orange slide, it advances. Great. So now I'll double check these. If I tap on the pink square, it should take me back to hyperlinks. So now I need to advance myself to where I was. And if I tap on the green square, it should take me to our next slide. Perfect. Now if I tap on the orange square, it should take us back to the previous slide, which I believe had the pink square and the green square. That looks great. And if I tap on the blue square, it should take me to apple.com. Perfect. So now I'm at apple.com. To get back to my presentation, I'll swipe up from the bottom and tap on Keynote. To exit presentation mode, since there's no escape button on my keyboard, I'm just going to use my thumb and pointer finger to touch the screen, and I'll make a squeezing motion with my fingers, so bringing my thumb and my pointer finger closer together. And here I've exit presentation mode.